The city of San Diego has passed new short-term rental regulations that would cut the number of short-term rentals in half. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's coming out of San Diego, California. And basically what has happened is they've passed new short-term rental regulations that are going to cut the number of short-term rentals in half. And unfortunately, a lot of landlords who are operating short-term rentals in the area who've put tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars into investing and buying properties based upon the old rules, they're going to lose out. And it's an absolute ridiculous situation because they changed the rules in the middle of the game. And this is the kind of situation I absolutely can't stand because, it discourages people from wanting to invest in a place, okay? So they thought there were too many short-term rentals within the city limits, right? And so they just said, hey, we're just going to eliminate all of them because that will allow there to be more long-term rental housing. The problem is, though, that because the housing is so valuable within the city, San Diego is one of the most expensive places in the entire country. The truth of the matter is a lot of these short-term rental landlords are not going to convert them over into long-term rentals. They're going to take them completely off of the rental market and sell them to individual homeowners for huge profits, okay? And just probably start investing outside of the city limits at that point. I mean, that's what I would do, okay? So they aren't really solving the problem of people who are searching for long-term rentals, and they're not going to make housing any more affordable by doing this, okay? This is really just a feel-good measure that doesn't really accomplish much at all. Now, before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below, and let me know what you think, okay? Do you believe that by cutting the number of short-term rentals within the city of San Diego, that's actually going to increase the number of rental properties that are available? I don't, okay? I don't think that these are going to become in large number long-term rental properties. What I do believe is some of them might become long-term rentals, but they're going to be priced at the very top of the market. Because if you look at what a lot of Airbnbs are, a lot of these short-term rental properties are in very trendy parts of town, okay? Places where people want to stay when they're visiting and they're on vacation down in, a place like San Diego, right? So if they are rented, it's going to be much, much higher rental prices than what the majority of people can afford. And, if you're talking about putting in a whole bunch of luxury, high-end new rental units out there, I mean, that it could be better accomplished with new development versus trying to say, hey, well, we're going to try to force all these short-term rental landlords into becoming long-term landlords. So, yeah, it's kind of a ridiculous situation. But, let's get into this article and see what it says. Now, this article is coming from NBCSanDiego.com, and it says, new short-term rental regulations could cut rentals in San Diego by nearly half. Oh, man. More violations of property rights by a city in California. Nothing surprising here, but let's get into it. The 7-year battle over regulating short-term vacation rentals is finally over after the California Coastal Commission voted unanimously Wednesday night to approve the city of San Diego's new rules. The regulations are expected to cut the number of short-term rentals across the city by 48% and 27% in Mission Beach alone. While residents and rental owners say the ordinance is far from perfect, they say it's nice to finally have regulations, especially people looking for affordable housing like Gretchen Newsom, who's called Ocean Beach home for more than 10 years. Hey lady, I don't think this is going to actually help you find affordable housing. Like I said, if anything, it's going to be extremely high-end rentals, or the property owner could just say, I'm just going to sell to owner-occupant. It's going to be $1 million plus property. Okay, that's probably what's going to happen. So if you think that all of a sudden you'll be able to find some cheap rent place, you're an idiot. Okay. I have seen over the years our town, lovely town, just become decimated by short-term vacation rentals, and the availability of housing for long-term renters is just no longer available, Newsom said. The mother of one knows the problem intimately now that she says her landlord gave notice he's selling the house she lives in. I scoured Zillow. I scoured Craigslist. I scoured everything there is, and there are so few homes available. But when I go to the short-term vacation sites like Airbnb, there's literally over 100 of them available. And so where have all the long-term renting possibilities gone? They've gone into transition over to short-term rentals, placing profits above people in this case, Newsom said. See, and my thing is that they think, and this is what they always think, they think that, hey, this little segment of the business is what's causing all of the short-term or all of the affordable housing crisis in California or in San Diego. No, of course not. Okay, the same thing that is causing the rent prices to go up all across the country are what's causing this in San Diego, and that is a shortage of housing in general. Okay, what we need is more development and building, and that is exactly what they are prohibiting in places like California. Or they put so many rules and regulations and laws on housing that, you know, it just can't even be built for a reasonable cost. So yeah, and I should throw in there, San Diego is a beautiful place. I've visited there a few times, and it is an absolutely beautiful place. A lot of people want to live there. It has great weather, you know, beautiful beaches. I don't blame people for wanting to live there, but you do not have the right to live in a very popular, very beautiful place for a low cost. Okay, San Diego, yeah, it's going to have a lot of vacation rentals because it's a vacation town. Okay, it should make sense to everyone that, hey, people want to vacation there. That's why it has vacation rentals at it. Oh, man. And trying to cut back on vacation rentals, you really think, one, there's a lot of people who are willing to just circumvent the laws or not even follow the law and continue to rent their properties out, you know, without the required permits or whatever. Two, you know, like I said, people will sell to owner occupants and then just completely exit the city and then go somewhere where they can invest, and they will continue to have vacation rentals, right? And that won't improve anything for people who are renting, like this person in the article. And three, you know, they will simply make it a very high-end, very expensive long-term rental that people still wouldn't be able to afford. So yeah, they're putting this out there as though it's going to make some sort of difference to affordable housing, and it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. Okay, oh man. So let's keep going. The California Coastal Commission vote is expected to slash the number of whole home short-term rentals citywide by about half, from about 12,300 to 6,500, potentially helping families like Newsom's. According to Venus Molina, chief of staff for Councilmember Jennifer Campbell, who helped lead the push for the new set of regulations. A lot of those units will be back into the market, like I said, for long-term renters or for sale, said Molina. And so I think it does help with costs. The regulation could come at a cost for short-term rental owners like Julie and Nancy Kramer, who has 2 rental properties. They will have to enter a lottery to get a license if they plan on renting out their homes for more than 20 days a year. I sold one in the residential area and bought this one so I wouldn't have to deal with short-term rental restrictions. I purposely bought and spent a lot of money and bought in the commercial zone, thinking I'm safe. And now I'm not safe, Kramer said. So yeah, this landlord, this short-term rental property owner, she thought she was safe. She bought in a commercial area based on the prior rules, and here we go with the city changing the rules in the middle of the game, and she could just end up in a situation where she has this property that she can't even use as a short-term rental legally anymore. So, you know, just sell. Just get out of there. You know, there's plenty of places where you can invest and you don't have to deal with this nonsense, okay? And I'm sure you made a healthy profit off of the purchase of these properties in San Diego, as, you know, appreciation has continued to go up in the area, and, you know, it just isn't worth dealing with all of this nonsense. And I don't agree with these laws. I don't agree with these rules. And I want property owners to be able to do what they want with their properties. I don't think there should be any sort of restrictions on how you are renting that property out. as long as you aren't creating a nuisance. And if you are creating a nuisance, then you should be fined just like any other person who's creating a nuisance in a property would be fined. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you can't use it as you see fit. What a ridiculous, nonsensical thing to do. Okay, but nothing surprising, once again, coming out of California.